morning. Dr. Smithson here, Sports Vision Pros, with another 3 timeouts with Sports Vision Pros with a good friend of mine and Mr. Nationals, Ryan Zimmerman here. 17-year pro for us with the Nationals and good friend of mine for, man, almost 20 years at this point. Isn't that crazy to talk about?
It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a little bit. So we're going to do 3 timeouts with Ryan. First thing I'm really curious about, we have a lot of people that talk to us on Sports Vision Pros that are baseball players, obviously from the youth level all the way up to the pros. The process of hitting is something I've never been involved with. I could never get anywhere close to that sort of thing. But I'm curious about the process as a hitter. What happens pre-game? You know you're going to face a certain pitcher some night. What's the pre-game sort of routine for that? What does it look like in the batter's box when you're getting ready for that at bat? What are you thinking through? What's the process? And then when you get up there, you're standing there facing off against the best in the world at what they do. Tell me about that process, kind of pre-game to at bat.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of your work is done before you get in the box. I think, you prepare, you have a plan of whether you face that guy a bunch or not a lot obviously makes a difference. You kind of expect things, or they've done things in the past that they'll probably do again if you faced them before. If it's a first time facing a guy, you go by kind of what you see on the video.
Sure.
But I'm a big believer in preparing and having a plan before you get in there. And once you get in there, you just kind of take that plan and use your preparation and then just let your talents take over. I think if you're thinking or doing too much in the box, it's a little too late. Once you get into the game, it's time to just let your talent take over and not think too much. But just a big believer in preparing and having a plan and sticking to that plan.
Yeah, because 98 comes pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah. Not much time to think.
There's not a lot of time to figure that out. If you're thinking there, it's too late, right?
That's right.
Second question. So let's talk a little bit about your vision experience, right? So there are a lot of baseball players I work with every year, 200 or so players in our organization that they're with God-given talent. Their vision's incredible. You were one of those. Always had wonderful vision. Later on in your career, we talked a little bit with kind of vision enhancement, trying to pull vision up a little bit. Sometimes we do that with virtual reality training. Sometimes we do that with supplements. In your case, it was a contact lens kind of thing. But enhancing a little bit at that level made a big difference for you.
Yeah, and like you said, I was lucky to have good vision and still have pretty good vision. But when you're competing at the highest level, I mean, any little advantage helps. So, yeah, we experimented with some contacts and took kind of my really good vision to really, really good vision.
Yeah.
I just throwing contacts in or doing something on game day is not a big deal for the advantage that it gave me. And, it's fun to play around with that stuff, kind of see how much crisper it is and, making little adjustments. And I think as you get older too, and obviously vision is one thing, but you're always trying to keep up with the young guys and, any advantage you can get,
sure,
to make the game easier. I say easier, I don't know if it's ever easier, but anything that can help you have success. So it was kind of fun for me to learn and adapt as I got older in my career.
Yeah, and vision is one of those things that we do talk a lot about because there are ways to improve vision from just glasses, contact lenses, kind of the clarity piece, sort of muscular focus and working on some of those components when guys have some challenges there. And then visual enhancement, you talked about hitting fastballs, 98 miles an hour, all this stuff, processing and quicker thinking and quicker decision making. So using some different programs and things that way can be really, really cool. It can give you that edge.
And I think it's just confidence too. I think if, it makes a difference if you've seen clearer. You're obviously going to feel more confident if you think you have, the best tools to in your disposal. So, it's definitely a big thing for me towards the end of my career.
Yeah, and quiet the brain a little bit, right? Just see it and hit it.
Yep.
Right? Just try to simplify.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So last question I have is kind of a fun one. Later on in your career, you transitioned from third base to first base.
Yep.
You spent a lot of time at first base. A lot of us who watch a lot of baseball always see the conversations that happen at first base. You got the first baseman, you got the guy who just got the walk or just got the big hit. There's always a little chirping down there. Yeah. What are those conversations? What are you guys talking about?
I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I was around for a long time, so I knew a bunch of guys. A lot of the guys, you come into the league when you're young. When we were younger, we would grab dinner, go out, have some drinks, things like that. As you get older, then you're married, have kids. So, everyone's lives changes as your career evolves. But, some of those guys I'd known for 15 plus years. A lot of it's more just catching up and joking around. I mean, I'm never going to compete against that person head to head. So it's a little bit easier to talk to someone when I know I'm not going to face that guy or he's not going to face me. So a lot of it's just catching up, asking how people are doing, old stories, things like that. So it's I enjoy that part of the game.
Yeah, I'm sure. Yeah, it's not necessarily the trash talking we have in the NBA, NFL. There's a lot of that head-to-head trash talk stuff, but you're not giving guys a hard time too much.
Not much of that in baseball. I mean, we definitely talk, we joke around and talk trash, but nothing. Yeah, sure. NBA, NFL is a little bit different.
It's a different beast, isn't it?
100%.
Well, I'm out of time out, so I'm out of time with a good friend of mine, but thank you very much for taking the time with us. Ryan Zimmerman here.
No problem. Thanks for having me.
Thanks.